start, if that's okay, Michael.
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay, so my name's Robotic. I'm the marketing manager here at Whalecoin Talk. And today we have Michael from Kirobo for an AMA. We will be recording the AMA and it will be published on YouTube, and we're also streaming it on Twitch. And we'll place the recording in your community as well, and in ours. We'll pin it in the chat so people can listen to it afterwards should they wish to do so. The format of the AMA will be a conversation between myself and the rest of the team, and there'll be opportunities for questions at the end from the community. So firstly, please could you introduce yourself and tell us about your experience and background?
Sure. So my name is Michael Pearl. I'm the COO of Kirobo. I have about 10 years of experience in the crypto and fintech sphere. Worked in for various projects, starting from around 2013. I was already involved in crypto. Was here during the big wave of 2017. Now in Kirobo for the last 8 months in the role of the COO, and very excited to be here.
Great, thank you for that. So please could you introduce the ecosystem and what it is at Kirobo? What's your mission?
Sure. So Kirobo is a blockchain technology company. We are working mostly in the realms of DeFi. Kirobo is here to provide a safety net for DeFi users. Let's put it this way, and obviously I will elaborate later, but our end goal is to make crypto and DeFi in specific as simple and secure as online banking. We essentially identified three main problems in the DeFi space. Obviously, I don't have to tell you about the movement from CeFi to DeFi, people holding the crypto in their wallets. It's obviously a great thing. That's the reason why we're all here. We have the ability to do all those wonderful things like staking, like loans, and so on. But obviously, the downside of that is that with great power comes great responsibility. We're holding the money in our wallets, and that causes a lot of problems, mostly due to human error and due to malware. So the three main use cases that we identified, and those are the main problems that we want to tackle in the coming years, are sending money, right? We all know that, sting in the stomach that you have when you send crypto to another wallet. There was a survey by Chainalysis that indicated that about 20 to 25% of crypto vanishes exactly in that way, right? Of sending the crypto to the wrong wallet, sending it to a smart contract, and so on. So that problem we already tackled. We have a service called the undo button, which is essentially retrievable transfers of crypto. And that allows you basically, if you send money in error, you could just retrieve the transfer and get your money back and nothing happened. The next two things that we're going to tackle are two other pain points for crypto and for DeFi. One of them is the very easy ability to lose your money due to losing your wallet or losing access to your wallet. Right, I don't have to tell you how acute this problem is. We hear that all the time. It's always those graphic stories on the news of people not being able to access their crypto. They can see them on Etherscan and cry, but they cannot touch the money, obviously. And another problem, which is also something that people don't really like to talk about, but what happens to your crypto after you're gone, right? Life happens, and people right now do not have any viable technological solution for leaving their crypto to their loved ones after they pass away. So those two problems we're going to tackle and address in our next product, which is the Liquid Vault. Obviously, I will elaborate more on that, but the Liquid Vault is called that way because essentially it's a vault in the sense that it's highly secured. It allows you to store your money in a very secured way. And it's liquid in a sense that you can always access your money. It's not like a vault that you have in your basement. You can do all the various DeFi activities that you want to do whilst holding your money in a very secure way. So the two first use cases, as I said, were a full backup of your assets, not your private keys. Your actual assets can be backed up, and you could create a wallet that can be a backup wallet to support that. And the second one is the ability to create an inheritance mechanism, the same way you do when you create a will, which will be executable. Executable on a technological level. Everything is fully decentralized, non-custodial, and essentially is very easily, very user-friendly and easy to configure. And that's something that we're going to introduce in the course of the next week. So you caught us at the right time now to tell the story.
Nice. It sounds really exciting what's coming up. I'm just curious, like kind of, so if I was to send funds right now, how would I do it? What would be like the first step, and how would it be received for the person who I'm sending it to? What would they see?
Sure. So the system is very straightforward. I really encourage you guys to go to kirobo.io and to try the system. You go on our website, you connect your wallet the same way you do, let's say, with Uniswap. We're wallet agnostic, meaning that you can have almost any type of wallet that is out there. You can have a MetaMask, Trezor, Ledger, what have you, Wallet Connect, and so on. Once you connect to the system, you submit the address of the recipient, and the special thing here is that you submit a unique passcode that you create, and you communicate this to the other side. And up until the point where the recipient entered the passcode, you can retrieve the money. So essentially, if you sent it to the wrong address, obviously that person doesn't have that unique passcode, and he cannot collect the funds, right? He cannot do anything with it. If you send it to a smart contract or to, let's say, an exchange wallet that doesn't support the token, obviously this wallet or smart contract cannot collect the money as well. So once the person from the other side submits the right passcode that you can communicate to, let's say, via WhatsApp, via Telegram, any way you want it to, the transaction comes through and everyone's happy. But again, if you sent it to the wrong place, then nothing happened because you can bring the money back.
Okay, so the person receiving it has to connect to your website and enter the passcode. So are you essentially an intermediary then?
Yeah, so the person connects the same way that the sender connected, the recipient connects, and once our system identifies his wallet, then we see that there's a transaction pending for him, transaction or more than one transaction, right? And then the person just hits collect, submits the passcode, and the money comes through.
Okay, and what cryptocurrencies can I send? Is it anything, or is there any restrictions?
Sure. So we started from the Ethereum network. We're supporting a large bevy of coins, and we keep adding new coins as we speak. By the way, if you see a coin that you would like to add that is not on the list, I do encourage you to address that and to ping us any way you want it. You can go on the Telegram and you can write this in the community chat, and we will add the token. Every ERC20 token is supported. We recently launched on the Binance Smart Chain network as well. So we support Binance Smart Chain based tokens. And next steps are going to be Polygon and other networks as well. Eventually, the idea is to go multi-chain to support as many chains as possible and to have users from different chains sending and receiving crypto in a safe way and secure way.
That's great. In the white paper, it uses quite a few examples using Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin something that you can send, or is it going to happen in the future?
So we do have a solution for Bitcoin. We paused the service for Bitcoin due to the recent update, but we did manage to offer that service on the Bitcoin network as well. As you can imagine, it's very different technologically speaking, but the system is fully functional, and we may allow people to use it in the future. Right now, it's saved for B2B use cases, but again, we have the ability to retrieve Bitcoin transfers as well.
Sorry, my head's disconnected then. I'm back on now.
Sure.
So when we were speaking a moment ago, you were saying about Bitcoin, the system is going through an update and it's going to be working soon. Is that right?
Yeah, so I said that we offered the service in the past for Bitcoin. We discontinued this at the moment, but we're able to bring it back. That's something that we're able to do. Right now, it's more oriented towards B2B users because we have several integrations that we're about to do with different wallets and different exchanges. And that is something that is on the table for supporting such integrations.
Okay, and could you elaborate on, you mentioned exchanges. Is there any kind of deals in place or?
So I cannot go into details, but we're in very intensive talks with a few types of companies. One, obviously, a very major use case are exchanges. We're in talks with several exchanges to integrate the system within the exchanges as a service that they can offer to their users. And we believe that once, and we're very close to that right now, we're already in talks on how to do it and not whether to do it. And once the system is in place on those exchanges, we're certain that the users will use our service rather than the regular one, because obviously, if you can, ensure and secure your transfer, you will prefer doing it that way. And other use cases for payments companies and other, company startups that are processing large amounts of crypto and sending large amounts of crypto, whether for their clients or internally. That's also something that is on the table. We're in touch with many different types of crypto companies that, again, obviously are sending huge amounts of crypto, and every time they hit the send button, they have this sting in their stomach, and they want to, basically avoid chargebacks and losing their funds and their clients' funds. So stay tuned. We just announced an integration with Purify, and we have a few more contracts that we're signing in the very near future. So you'll hear about that.
Great. So I'm just thinking, like, kind of, obviously when I do a transaction at the bank, I do two-factor authentication. Is there any way that this system could be, a mobile app, or is there plans for that?
A more what?
Could it be a mobile app? Could I do this on my mobile?
Oh, on a mobile app. Sorry. Yeah. So definitely, a mobile app is being developed as we speak. We intend to introduce it during the first quarter of 2022. Definitely. First of all, right now you can already use it on mobile as a either for instance, if you use MetaMask, you go to the browser and you can access the system, or you can just go to our website and do it from the website. You can connect your MetaMask. But indeed, we're now developing an app that will support the safe transfer and will support the vault, obviously, that I mentioned earlier. And you will have everything in one place. Basically, a one-stop shop for storing your crypto, interacting with DeFi, and doing whatever you are doing right now, but in a more secure manner. So yeah, it's definitely coming.
Great. And are there any competitors doing the same as you in this space at the moment?
Sure. So I'm not aware of any competitors, whether we're talking about the undo button or definitely not in the realms of backup and inheritance. There are many, more, let's say, quote unquote, manual solutions that people use right now to, let's say, inherit their crypto. You have some systems that do a suspension of transaction. For instance, I know that MetaMask offers you, let's say, I think a 5-second suspension. When you send a transaction, you have the ability to cancel it. The same way, for instance, if you send an email via Gmail, you can cancel it within those 5 seconds. But it's obviously something very different from the service that we offer. To have the ability, in theory, until infinity, to cancel a transaction that was sent in error. Again, as far as I know, we don't have any competitors now.
Great. And is there any commission for sending money?
Sure. So there is no commission at the moment, and we do not intend to add one, at least not for now. Actually, you are even rewarded with our native Kirobo token if you do a transaction via the undo button. So not only there's no commission right now, you are even rewarded for using the system.
Okay, great. And what's the value of the reward? Is it a percentage or?
When you go on the system, you can see it. You can get if you again, it depends on the size of the transaction, but you can get a few dozens of dollars for worth of Kirobo for doing the transaction. It's essentially the gas fee and beyond that.
Great. And if I was to buy your currency today, are there any taxes charged anywhere or?
Taxes? Sorry?
Like, is there any transaction fees that you're adding on? If I was to buy the currency, is there any transaction fees that you add in on additional or, is there not?
No. If you purchase the coin, there is no additional fees that are beyond just purchasing the coin, just the same way you do with any other ERC20 token. Nothing, no other fees beyond that.
Okay, so in terms of the money for the team, where does the marketing money and development money, where does that come from?
Sure. So first of all, we received several investments. The initial and probably the most impressive investment that we received is from the Israeli Innovation Authority. We are the only, as far as I know, the only blockchain company to receive 2 grants of 1 million each from the Israeli Innovation Authority. This grant is being usually given to more traditional companies, and we managed to receive it twice, and that was obviously a very big boost in the beginning. We also received an investment from a company called Digimax, a Canadian public company, and also from several private investors. And that's essentially what keeps the engine running, and the company is fully funded and has a very long roadmap that it wants to fulfill. So that's and obviously other investments are also on the table, but I cannot disclose anything at that moment.
Okay, and how do those investments work? Are those investors holding a certain amount of tokens, or what do they get in return for their investment?
Sure. So some investors obviously are equity investors. Others are holding tokens. All the investors' tokens are locked in designated wallets. Yeah, I would say that the majority of the investors have received tokens. Again, due to the fact that they believe in our token and in the future of the company.
That's great to hear. I can see on the website that there is staking. Could you just explain about that?
Sure. So we have a staking mechanism that basically allows you to put your LP token after you added the liquidity with on Uniswap with Ether and our native Kiro token. You can put your LP in our staking mechanism, and again, enjoy the reward. We also have a plan on yeah, sorry.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention that we are looking into diversifying into other networks as well. We're also available on PancakeSwap, and we have a liquidity pool mining on QuickSwap, where people can get our native Kiro and Dickweek, and obviously more networks to come. So right now it's Ethereum, Polygon, and Binance Smart Chain.
Sounds good. And in terms of where the staking revenue, where does that come from? Is there a certain percentage of the supply that is held in a contract, or is it come from somewhere else?
No, it comes from the company's token supply, and yeah, there's a contract that is distributing this this reward, this yield, basically.
Okay, great. Do you have an audit, and could you talk about that if you do?
Sure thing. So we're obviously I encourage you guys to go on the website and to take a look at all the documentation and all the different dev documents. We have an audit. We're audited by 3 different audit companies and receive very high grades for the system and for its robustness and for its security. Everything is being audited again 3 times. We are investing huge amounts of effort and funds into that to make sure that the system is secured and to make sure that the system is properly audited. Obviously, any any comments that we have from those companies are being treated. So yeah, so we have 3 different companies that don't even they're not even aware of of each other, right? So each one is doing the audit in his own methodology, and we're very much attentive to that.
Great, thank you. So you mentioned about your upcoming utility, and one of them is an inheritance system. Could you explain more about that?
Sure. So essentially, I mentioned the Liquid Vault, right? So the Liquid Vault is an on-chain wallet that, unlike the term wallet is kind of misleading. Unlike the current wallet that you have, whether it's MetaMask, Ledger, and so on, it allows you to do many different things. It's essentially a merge of 40 different smart contracts that allows you to do features that weren't really available until now. Some things you can do for the first time. The inheritance and the backup are the first 2 use cases, but we do intend to introduce other use cases in the future. Now, specifically about the inheritance, the way it works is very straightforward. Your money is being held in that vault, and you set up a timer that after a certain amount of a certain time of inactivity, again, that you decide, let's say 6 months, that no one accesses the vault. The vault starts to distribute the money as you predefined it. So for instance, if you want to, I don't know, give 50% to your family, 20% to your, favorite charity, or if you want to send 100% to your Coinbase account, you can do whatever you want. It's fully customizable, and you can change it in time, right? If something changes in your life and you want to add or subtract a error, you can do it freely. Very easy to use, very straightforward. That's it.
I suppose, like, what if I was pretty ill in hospital, in a coma, and then I woke up in a coma, all my money's been distributed. What could I do?
Sure. So first of all, one of the best things about the system is that the undo button is integrated within the system. So again, it's up to the person, and we believe in in each person having their own the liberty basically to do whatever they want with their money. So you can use this mechanism of the undo button the way you want to. So for instance, I'm going to answer your question about the coma, but just to give you an example, if you want to condition, let's say there's 20% that goes to your kids, if you want to condition it by, I don't know, them going to college, right? It's something that is, me myself, I'm a lawyer, and I have seen quite a few wills in my life. So, some people want to condition, the execution of the will with some, sometimes even weird conditions. So if you want to, condition that with, let's say, them going to college, you can do that, right? You can give the passcode to your lawyer, and you can say that, you're going to verify that my kids go to college or something of that sort. So by the same token, you can use this mechanism of the undo to have some sort of a second, two-step verification of that distribution of the funds. So even if the mechanism was triggered by mistake and you're in a coma, then you still have ways to reverse it.
Could you add, say, in a will in the UK where I live, there is usually two executors, two people who execute the will. Could there be a dual authorization process where two people approve it? I just feel more comfortable with that.
First of all, it's a good idea. We may consider this in the next versions of the system. But again, we want to, one of the, I don't want to go too deep into the legal talk, but one of the purposes of the will, and that's why it's called the will, is to respect the will of the deceased. So that's why we want to give, the full control to that person. That is definitely something that we can look into. I think that technologically speaking, and again, I'm not the techie here. I think it's possible. But again, it's only the first version, and we can add, and we will add more layers to it to make it more, to address more use cases.
Cool, that's great. I'm not sure if that kind of, when I look at this chart on PooCoin, it says 100% unlocked wallet. Maybe that's just an issue with PooCoin. Is that something you're aware of?
Sorry, what did you see on the chart on PooCoin?
So when I look at the chart, it says unlocked wallet. Are you aware of that? Is it just an issue with that site, or?
So let me give you the bigger picture that will probably answer your question. We're now in a process of creating a very, very unique tokenomics plan for the system. The system, and I didn't mention this before, but the system will be activated by the community. I said that the system is fully decentralized, and one of the facets of this decentralization is the fact that it will be activated by the community. Once we launch the system, the community will essentially validate and activate the different transactions, and it will activate the, I don't want to go too deep into that unless you want me to, but essentially the triggering of the mechanism of the inheritance and the backup and the many different use cases to come, all of that will be activated by the community and by the designated validators in this community. And obviously those people will be rewarded the same way that validators and miners are rewarded in other platforms and other networks. So for all that, we're creating a very unique tokenomics, and in the course of the next month, this tokenomics will dictate the changes that we'll have in the wallet structure. So we do intend to submit the majority of the tokens to that purpose, to have pools for rewards, for development, and for the many different aspects of the system that will basically activate the system. Again, everything will be decentralized. Eventually, we're also going to a DAO mechanism that will also govern the system. So the situation that you see right now with the wallets is an interim situation that will change very soon. And obviously, stay tuned because we will publish the tokenomics, and you can see the whole complexity of the system and the utility of the token that basically activates the system.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. It sounds like it's a changing time at the moment for the token. There's development underway. In terms of, obviously you've got development coming out very soon. Is there any plans for a marketing campaign coming up, or are you going to wait for more development to come out before you market more?
Sure. So just to give you some, snippets from the roadmap, what we have coming up is next week we're announcing the Liquid Vault, and you will have more details on how it's going to work. And you can, I do encourage you guys to check this out next week, to play with it, to test that, and to see the system with your own eyes. After that, obviously, we intend to add many more features. You asked me about the mobile app. We will add the mobile app. We will add many more features within the vault. But I want to give you some heads up. I cannot go too much into the details of it. But a few weeks after the launch of the vault, we're going to have some major news. That will obviously be led with a very extensive marketing campaign. We intend to introduce something that will be quite revolutionary in the DeFi space, and that is something that is going to be interconnected with the vault. People who will open the vault will be eligible for many different things. Again, I cannot go into details, but I really want to. So yeah, a huge marketing campaign is coming up. We're going to have the product. We're going to have integrations, as I mentioned. The vault itself will support many different DeFi protocols, and we'll have integrations with various DeFi services. So a lot of news are coming up. Also, we're now in talks with several centralized exchanges about listing the token. So all this is done concurrently, and we're going to have a lot of news during December and January, and obviously beyond that.
So you said you were in talks with exchanges. Like, how many people are working with you on the team? Is it quite a big team, or?
Yeah, so we have 25 people, all located in Israel, in-house, and the team is constantly growing. We're now in a phase of scaling, growing, adding more teams, adding more people to the teams. So we also have a lot of support from our investors and from our advisors. It's worth noting that we have Brock Pierce, who I believe that he needs no introduction. He's on our advisory board. And we have Dr. Scott Stornetta, who I believe that also doesn't need a lot of introduction. He's one of the godfathers of blockchain. He's also on our advisory board. And we have a lot of projects that are supporting us. Part of the integrations are to have more people involved and more people helping us to create this ecosystem that Kirobo is going to be a part of. So yeah, so the team is constantly growing and working very diligently on all those things.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like you've got some really experienced people on your advisory board. And yeah, you've got a big team there and you're expanding, which is really good. And you're all based in Israel. There's a lot of technology companies there. It's good to hear you've got grants as well. So you got $2 million in grants from the Israeli government?
Yes, indeed, from the Israeli Innovation Authority. It's a fund that supports startups, supports technology. Again, it's not very common that this institution grants funds to crypto and blockchain companies, but we managed to convince them that the system is has a very bright future ahead of it. We have 2 patents that we registered, that we're in the process of registering in the name of Kirobo. And yeah, they decided to support us.
And the patents, where are they? In the US or Europe?
In the US, yeah, in the US.
US. And what are they for? Or can you not say?
I can just say that the things that I elaborated earlier, the undo button and the vault that allows you to do the backup and inheritance, the patents are basically patenting the technology behind those 2.
Okay. And is the plans to get patents anywhere else? In Europe, for example?
Yes, we're in the process of, but I cannot really go too deep into that.
Okay, great. So when you do your marketing campaign, who is your biggest market? Are you going to be targeting the US or China?
So I really can't point my finger on one single specific market that we're working on or that we're targeting. Obviously, the use case here is global. Again, it can be a crypto trader or a DeFi trader from the UK, or it can be a micro payments person that is working with micro payments in Africa or in Pakistan. So there are a lot of different use cases. We also have plans on how to penetrate the different geos, whether it's again the Africa and the third world countries are of much interest for us in terms of the micro payments, because imagine the tragedy of losing your funds when the majority of the money is being stored in crypto, and that's all you have, and eventually you can send it to the wrong wallet, or you cannot inherit this to your loved ones. So there are many different use cases. Also, the community that we have is basically very global. We have a very live Telegram group and a Discord channel and a Reddit channel, and we interact with our users all the time, and we see that it's quite a diverse cohort of people.
Great. And could you elaborate how many have you got in Telegram and Discord? How many members is there?
Yeah, I'll tell you in real time. Hold on. We have a few thousands on Telegram. Can't access that right now. You guys can go and join our Telegram group. We also have a TikTok channel, a YouTube channel, Instagram, obviously Twitter. So you can check out all the different channels. We have a in-house video team. We have a lot of content, a lot of educational content, by the way, that we upload. that is focused on our products, but not only. You can read a lot of interesting things there. So yeah, so we have a very diverse community on many different channels.
Great. Is there any international communities yet, or is it all English speaking?
We have a very large community in China. We have a very strong community in China with a lot of activity there in Mandarin. We're also in the process of establishing communities in Korea and in Russia. And you know, we have unofficial communities all around the world. So it's something that is not necessarily centralized by Kirobo, but I'm aware of many different channels and many different talks on Twitter and on Reddit with you know, different brand ambassadors, unofficial ones, quote unquote, that are all over the world. And yeah, but again, English-speaking countries, China, Korea is coming up, and Russia, and many different places as well. We're also about to launch a new website with language support for different languages that will obviously make it easier for people to interact with us. So we're going global.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. That sounds really good. And is there any plans for any? You mentioned Korea. Is there going to be any Asian exchange listings in the plan around that area, or?
Yes, indeed. I cannot say which, but yes, yes, Asian exchanges as well. We're now in talks with several exchanges on
Okay,
listing
and what kind of budget?
more or less concurrently. Yeah.
Great. And what kind of budget have you allocated to exchange listings? Because, you know, generally there's quite a lot of marketing associated with that. What proportion of your budget is allocated to it?
I cannot really go into numbers, but let's say that we're about to be listed on at least, let's say, 4 exchanges during the next month. And we prepared a budget that will address that. Obviously, with each exchange separately, and we have different plans. Obviously, the pricing is also different, right? Some exchanges charge you more for that, some support you in many different ways that are not necessarily so costly, but it's a quite a hefty amount, and we're investing in it because we think that it's very important to you know, to expand the community and to address more people.
Great. And what percentage of the tokens in the supply is going to be allocated towards exchange listings?
We intend to. I honestly I cannot point out a specific number, and again it depends on the specific exchanges. I honestly cannot point a specific number, but we're obviously interested in going on as many exchanges as possible. We had a lot of offers. Obviously, not every exchange is something that we want to pursue. We want to be very strategic about it. But yeah, we're looking into that. Yeah, I just to
listed on.
Sorry, just to address your prior question, because I have some help from our diligent marketing manager. We have 1,500 people on Telegram. We have 600 on Discord, 13,000 on Twitter. Our Chinese community is of 6,000 people. Important to emphasize, all real people, no bots, people that we interact with on a daily basis.
That's great. You've got a big Chinese community then. Yeah, so currently you can buy it on Uniswap, is that right?
Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and QuickSwap. Yeah.
Okay. And currently, what percentage of the supply is available on, say, for instance, Uniswap?
It's quite a small percentage right now. And again, we do work on increasing the supply and to diversify the supply. We're currently available, as I said, on three networks, currently on decentralized exchanges, and we intend to go on centralized ones. So that's something that we're working on expanding and diversifying the supply. Currently, it's quite a small percentage, though.
Yeah, it's quite a bold percentage, obviously, because you're focused on the centralized exchange listings. So what's the price currently on, say, for instance, Uniswap?
Let's check it together. Hold on. So on Uniswap V2, it's a little short of 60 cents at the moment. On PancakeSwap, we're already
Okay, and what's the market cap?
61%. So it's 61 cents, sorry.
Okay,
Just a
so there's a slight
second.
differentiation there. And what's the market cap on Uniswap?
So hold on. Let's check this together. Hold on.
That's fine.
Yeah. Let's continue. I'll check this along with you while we talk.
Sure. So yeah, I can kind of see obviously there's a small percentage of the supply currently available to buy because your focus is on exchange listings, and obviously there's a lot dedicated towards staking as well, and future developments. At the moment, so do you have any idea what the total value of the coin is, like all of the tokens that you have? What are you valuing the token at?
So the total amount of tokens is 2.2 billion. And obviously, if you multiply it by the Q price, you will get to the number. It's just important to emphasize one thing. As you said, we're now focused on listings and on releasing the products, but it's important to stress that we were very much oriented on the technology and having the technology, the best as it can be. And now we're focusing more on obviously the go-to-market and on the listing of the token, and hence now it's going to be our main focus. And you already see that we started diversifying into the different markets, and we intend to add some more, whether it's centralized or decentralized.
Okay, so you said there's 2.2 billion tokens, and per token it's valued at 60 cents. Is that right?
Yeah, more or less.
So that's 1.3 billion valuation of the business.
Yeah,
It
fully
seems quite
diluted.
high, to be honest, 1.3 billion, but obviously you've got a lot coming. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot coming, and again, it's the market value. We don't set the price; it's the market, believes in us probably.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot coming, and people believe in you. So that's great. There's a lot coming up there. I'm just going to open up to questions now from the team
Sure.
and people on the call. Does anybody have a question for Michael?
Hey, Robotic. Yeah, I have. I'm just curious about a few things. So you're live now on BSC, and obviously on Binance Smart Chain, there's a lot of reward tokens and all sorts of tokens that have like taxes to them and all that. How does that work with the sending with the undo button? Do you have to like the contract owners whitelist your router somehow so it doesn't cut into the fees? And yeah, how does that work?
So again, we have a list of tokens that we support. We can expand that, and every ERC20 token is being sent in accordance to its, to the regular fee. So if I understand the question correctly, it's the way we handle it. You just select the token from the system and you send it pretty much the same way that you would do with your wallet,
Right. So
except for the obviously.
yeah, if you had like a 5% tax for reflections and all that, right? You send it once to your contract that holds it, and then it's gonna take another 5% when it's sent to the yeah, to the end one, to the other party. Is that right?
I imagine that the tax you mean fee, right? By the word tax you mean
Yeah,
fee.
yeah.
You mean gas fee?
No, not the gas fee.
Yeah.
There's like reward tokens on Binance Smart Chain, right? That take out a portion of the fee on transfers, or a portion of the tokens on transfers. So if you transfer like 1 million tokens, the other party only receives 900,000, right? If there's a 10% tax on transactions. So I'm wondering if there's like a way for those contract developers to kind of whitelist or exempt from tax your router or whatever contract you're using to use the undo button, and then they wouldn't get taxed.
So it's a good question. We should look into that. I will just tell you something in general that the obviously the gas fees and the other taxes as you call them are, I don't have to tell you, they have gone through the roof, and that's something that we and the community needs to address, and we actually have a solution in that realms, but I cannot go too deep into that. But yeah, noted. I understand what you said, and that's definitely something that is worth checking.
And one last thing, like how is there like a limit
Mhm.
to how long I can input the receiving password, say, to get my or can the sender set a limit, say, if they don't put the password in the next 48 hours, they'll be reverted, or how does that work?
Sure. So it's a good question. We did have a dilemma in the beginning whether to have some sort of a timer to, have the transaction being canceled automatically. We decided that we're just going to let the people choose. And currently, again, theoretically, the transfer is infinite. So you can, cancel it now, or you can cancel it in 10 years. We do not have a mechanism that is canceling it automatically because we didn't want to decide for the sender. So right now it works, until infinity, but we may, introduce other features that will allow you to set up a certain timer that, after which, if the password is not submitted, it just, nullifies on its own.
All right, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and another thing you probably are looking into, or if you haven't already, is that some of the reflective tokens, right? Like I can send my tokens to the third party, to you, say, and then it'll accumulate some extra tokens in there, but the person receiving it won't get those extra tokens. So maybe that's something you can work with the tokens on a, yeah, individual level or something. I don't know how that will integrate.
You mean that if you send a few transactions to the same person?
No, I mean like the moment I decide to send tokens, right? It gets sent to your wallet, right? And then it gets released in their
Yeah.
wallet. Well, while it's sitting in your wallet, it can be accumulating rewards, right? It can be accumulating some reflections from because it's holding that token. Some tokens are built like that. If you hold them, you just get airdropped more tokens, right? So for the time that you are holding it, that wallet will essentially incur those rewards for you, and then the person receiving them will just receive the normal amount that I've sent. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but first of all, it's important to stress that we don't hold the token in our wallets. The system, whether it's the undo button or the vault, but going back to the undo button specifically, is non-custodial. So we don't touch the money at any point.
Yeah, I
The money
understand.
goes to a smart
Yeah, I
contract.
understand, but
So the
still,
money goes to a smart contract.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But still, the smart contract is like a normal wallet, right? So it can accumulate all those fees and everything. That's why I was asking. Yeah, I understand. Okay, thank you.
You're right in that sense, but let's put it this way. The idea is to allow people to send money, right? We don't intend the smart contract to hold this money. It's not the purpose of the smart contract. Theoretically, again, if the money is stuck there, if nobody collected it and the person that sent it, haven't canceled the transaction, then maybe it makes sense. Again, that's something that we can look into in the future. But again, the smart contract is designed only to hold the money for a very brief period.
There might be some simple solutions where like the contract developers will choose to whitelist to say your smart contract that's actually doing the routing, and then those kind of issues will not occur, right? They won't receive extra rewards or won't be taxed on sending any extra tokens. Okay, yeah, cool, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for those questions, Akte. Does anybody else have a question for Michael? Sorry, Matt was muted. I've just unmuted you, Matt.
Oh, cool. Cheers. Sorry, I might have missed this because my phone cut out a few times, but I just wanted to check, when you send a transfer, at what point does the gas fee come out? Is it when you do the send or when it's accepted?
Sure. So essentially, when you send the transfer, you sign it with, let's say, your MetaMask, right? And then the gas fee is being deducted the same way that you do with your token. And then afterwards, once the other party has submitted the passcode and the transfer comes through, the other part of the gas fee is being deducted as well.
Okay, cool. So if, say you send like on a Sunday when the gas is low, and then they don't collect until a day when the network's congested and the gas is then higher, will that just automatically adjust and come from the wallet then, or?
So again, the fee is, as you rightfully said, is being calculated at the moment of the transfer. So if the other party is someone that you can, obviously, usually if you send money to someone, you can talk to the person. So you can probably set the timing for collecting the money at a more convenient time when the gas fees are lower. But that's something that you need to discuss with the other side.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thanks for that question, Matt. Does anybody else have a question? If you're muted, feel free to press the button and I'll unmute you. No, I think that's it for questions. So thank you for coming today, Michael. It's been really great.
Thank you so much.
About Kirobo, and we'll look forward to the updates. Feel free to come to the community anytime to let us know what's going on. When the exchange listings happen, when the new developments occur. Feel free to let us know, and we'll follow you, follow the developments, and I'm sure some people will invest. So thank you for coming today. Is there anything you'd like to finish with? Any final closing statement?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just finish with what I started with. You remember that I told you that we have essentially that what we do is we provide a safety net for DeFi. I think that after this lengthy talk, you understood how we do that and how we intend to, do that in the future as well. And I just want to reiterate that our end goal is to make crypto and DeFi as safe and secure as online banking. I'm sure that once we introduce our products in the upcoming months and all the things that we have planned for 2022. By the way, we have just published our roadmap, so you can see some of the things that we have planned. Obviously, in DeFi, you cannot plan for a year because many things are changing, but you're going to see a lot of different things that we will do there. Just wanted to add something that we didn't really have the chance to talk about, but we also support NFTs, both for sending, for receiving. and in terms of storing in the vault. That's a whole other topic in and of its own, but we are, striving to offer a all-around solution, to be a one-stop shop. Obviously, once we have the app, you will be able to store your money, to interact with all the DeFi that you want to, and whilst doing that in the vault, in a way that you can back up your money and, God forbid, inherit it. So many things coming up, and stay tuned. We have a very inspiring roadmap that we keep adding things to. So be in touch with us. And I heard some amazing feedback here from the community, which is very valuable. We're going to look into the different things that you suggested here, and we have a lot on our plates right now. So follow us, and you'll have some updates.
Great, thank you for that, Michael. It's been great. Thank you for coming, and thanks everyone for attending. It's been a great AMA.